However, there is a fascinating little story in the book of 2 Samuel that unfortunately, when we all learned this next story in Sunday school, we only learned the negative part. Why is it that we're so obsessed with the bad parts of the story? Why is it that we only want to see where hell breaks loose? Especially when we're teaching little kids in Sunday school. Let's bring them to the bright spot. I mean, the world's bad enough. Let's end up where the spotlight is. But we always kind of drag through all the bad and end up with 5 minutes of good right at the end of the lesson. I think it's be the other way around. How we're going to start with 5 minutes of bad, and then how about 25 or 30 minutes of good? Let me show you the good news. The bad news is this part of the story. David decides to bring the Ark of the Covenant, that front battle piece where the mercy seat sits. David decides to bring it to Jerusalem. He wants it at home because he knows that wherever the Ark of the Covenant is, favor falls. And man, he wants some of that. Who wouldn't, right? Anytime the Ark of the Covenant goes into battle, God's people win. Anytime the Ark of the Covenant's in the room, God's people are blessed. David wants the Ark of the Covenant it sits in the back of the temple at the place on the Day of Atonement where the fire falls. Man, David goes, we need that in Jerusalem. We need a revival of the power of God in Jerusalem. So he goes and he brings the Ark of the Covenant in on a cart. Here's the part of the story we always teach. I wish we would teach this and then keep teaching, because the story just gets gooder and gooder, as they say. It starts out by the cart is shaking, and a man named Uzzah reaches up and touches the cart with his hand because he doesn't want it to fall on the ground, and he falls over and dies. And David is so scared that they've done something wrong that he stops the train. Don't bring the Ark of the Covenant in. God's mad. I don't know why. God's not mad, by the way. The true answer is God's not mad. We just have a people who only recognize mad. All right. Anytime something goes wrong, they only recognize anger. Anytime something goes wrong, they only recognize a whipping or a beating. David recognizes God's mad. He says, let's stop. Go put the Ark of the Covenant in the nearest house. I want you to pick it up with me in 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 10. David would not move the Ark of the Lord with him into the city of David. Why would he? Last time he tried to move it, somebody died. So he goes, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we're going to take a few days and think it over. So let's just go put it in someone's house. Give me a couple weeks. I'll pray about it. I'll think about it. We'll figure out what to do with it. What's he do? He takes it aside. Now, I want you to stay right here on verse 10 for a second, because we're going to do a look at this guy's name. He takes it aside into the house of Obed Edom. Obed Ash Edom. We often call him Obed Edom. Obed Edom the Gittite. Obed Edom the Gittite, just by name and by location, means not circumcised. This guy's not a Jew. Here's a Gentile, a stranger, an alien. Let's go put it in his house. Now, I can't prove it, but I kind of think David decides to put it in a Gentile's house because he's already lost one of his own. And he figures if someone's going to die for messing around with this thing, it ought to at least be one of my enemies. Let's go drop it off in his house. And then, if he dies, well, he dies. Remember, David's a warrior king. I'm just trying to think like David. To go, if this thing's going to kill people, let's at least don't let it kill our people. Let's let it kill someone we don't like. Go and take it over there in Obed Edom's house. Edom is a descendant, is a part of the people of Esau. He's a part of that which has been outcast and rejected by Israel. Obed Edom is a Gentile. So let's go put it in his house. Verse 11. The ark of the Lord remained in the house of Obed Edom the Gittite for 90 days, 3 months. Here's what you expect the next sentence to say. And the Lord killed Obed Edom, because one day he accidentally brushed up against the Ark of the Covenant while he was walking through his house. Because surely that happened, don't you think? I mean, a guy touched the Ark outside and he fell over dead. Surely Obed Edom's got some kids that play around in the living room once in a while and, dip their French fries in ketchup on top of the Ark of the Covenant. That's a typical move we'd all do if we had the Ark in our house. Surely they've bumped up against this thing once or twice. But no, the last sentence says something unbelievable. And the Lord blessed Obed Edom and all his house. Obed Edom has never offered a sacrifice to God. Obed Edom does not pay his tithes. Obed Edom not only does not keep the law of Moses, he doesn't even memorize the law of Moses. He's supposed to at least memorize the law of Moses to be one of the people of God. Obed Edom does not attend synagogue. He has not been to temple. His family fights against the people of God. He's from the other political party. He's from the other side of the tracks. And when the ark of God shows up in his house, the Lord blessed him for 90 days. Verse 12. Now it was told David, saying, the Lord has blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that belongs to him because of the ark of God. So David gets jealous. It doesn't say David gets jealous, but look at the next sentence. So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom to the city of David with gladness. He goes, look, if anybody's going to get blessed for having this Ark of the Covenant in their living room, it's not going to be my enemies. It's going to be me. His tune changed pretty quick, didn't it? Listen, if people are going to die from having the Ark of the Covenant in their presence, then it needs to be my enemies. And then God pours out his blessings on your enemies. You go, okay, wait a minute. If anybody's going to get blessed, it needs to be me. That sounds pretty familiar.